Hello everyone. Welcome to IFL's live webinar. The topic today is related to buy now pay later, how you can generate higher returns using buy now pay later. We'll be starting the webinar in the next 1 or 2 minutes. I really appreciate everyone's patience meanwhile. Whatever questions you all have, you can post it in the Q&A section and it will be answered there. Hello everyone. Welcome to IFL's live webinar. We are starting the webinar now. This is Akshay Sonar this side. We have Mr. Viral Mehta, Mr. Rachit Mehta, and Mr. Ashnil Vaitla with us, who will be conducting the webinar here. And we'll be explaining the product in detail, how you can use the product, and whatever questions you all have, we'll be more than happy to explain that and give the answers for that to you. So with this, I'll hand it over to Mr. Viral.
Thanks, Akshay.
Yes, we'll also be speaking in Hindi and English both so that everyone understands.
Thank you, Akshay. Myself, Viral Mehta here, and I'll be your presenter for the day. We'll be starting this with the buy now, pay later. We'll understand what is this product all about and how to use this product, what are the advantages with an example so that your understanding could be quite. Buy now, pay later, the name itself suggests, abhi kharido, paisa baad mein do, which is very simple to understand. Let us take a brief understanding when it can be used, how it can be used, just for simplicity. We also have our YouTube video on the same, which you can watch it later. Meanwhile, there are two possibilities. One should know when we can use this thing. The first and foremost, you have got an opportunity to do it at later stage, and this will help you to make some money. What if you are able to buy more with the limited amount of cash you had, or you can buy more with the limited amount of margin you had? You would have made good money, you would have more money, more value in terms of trading, then more returns also. And meanwhile, second alternative is you are trying to buy a stock and you are unfortunately say that you so let us take with the example. So let us understand what is buy now pay later. Buying a delivery stock. The only difference between the direct normal delivery and BNPL product is here in BNPL you don't need to pay 100% advance. What you need to pay is fraction of fraction of buy. So example, if I say if I want to buy 10 shares of Reliance at 3,000 rupees each, that means I will have to pay 30,000 upfront. This is the normal practice. What if I have only 10,000 rupees in my account and I still want to buy 30,000 worth of Reliance? It is possible in BNPL. Okay. So here in BNPL, we are paying only fraction of the margin required or the value required. And that percentage could. So it could be, say, for an example, Reliance would be charged as a 25%, while Info 6% or TCS could be 24%. It may be depending vary here and there. Between around 20 and 25, 30% odd. Whatever the balance money which you are not paying is technically funded by IFL. IFL will charge you a nominal interest rate of 0. Entire interest calculation will be done on the daily basis, but the debits will happen only on the month end basis. So you are enjoying the interest part also for entire month will be charged only at the end of the month. So there is only win-win situations for everyone here. Say as a client, one has 1 lakh rupees. He wants to buy a stock. After buying a stock, say probably 2 months later, the realization is 10%. So if, example, if one has 1 lakh rupees in, he is holding the stocks for 2 months, and post 2 months, there is a realization of 10%, and he has sold his stock at 1,10,000 rupees. Here, you are able to clearly see that amount the customer has paid is 100% in advance, and he has made 10% returns after a period of 2 months. Now let us take an example. If customer would have used BNPL product, that is buy now pay later product, have been able to easily purchase stocks worth say approximately 5 lakh rupees, assuming 20% would be the margin required. So in that same 1 lakh rupees, customer has bought goods worth rupees 5 lakhs. Post 2 months, still return of 10% and the stock is appreciated by 10%. So 5 lakhs has become 5.5 lakhs in 2 months. I'm repeating, your 5 lakhs worth of stock, what you have purchased, after a period of 2 months, same appreciation of 10% will lead to 5.5 lakh rupees. So here you are clearly making 50,000 rupees upfront on the same trade. Assuming the interest charge on the funded amount is approximately 12,000 rupees. So here, for 2 months, if your interest is being charged, say it would amount to approximately say 12,000 rupees. So in that scenario, what is your net income here or net gains here? It is nothing but 5.5 lakh rupees minus your cost price, that is 5 lakh rupees, and we are still removing the interest component, that is 12,000 rupees. You are still making handsome 38,000 rupees, which is nothing but 38% of your on the profits of 1 lakh rupees. Technically, your investment was only 1 lakh rupees. And if you are understanding that on the principal amount of 1 lakh, you are still making 38% on the same amount. So this is the benefit of buy now, pay later. So here, what is the advantage? If your understanding of the particular stock or the particular script is way positive, you can go ahead and choose the buy now, pay later option and still make money out of it. Even though if your fund is less in your account, that is not an option. You're still you can use it. There could be possibilities that at any given point of time you still don't have any fund in your account and still you want to go ahead and buy any particular stock. It is still possible by pledging your older stocks. Every customer, whether it is Viral, Akshay, or anybody else, generally have some kind of a stocks which they have willing to hold it for very long period of time. Some may like Reliance, some may like Infosys, some may like TCS, some may like pharma companies like Sun Pharma, Cipla, anything, which you generally prefer to hold it for a longer period of time. It could be 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. At any given point of time, your customers are not willing to exit few stocks. If those stocks are blue chip stocks, you can still pledge those stocks. Pledging is also very easy. I will explain it to you during the course. You can pledge those stocks and still get some margin out of it. On the same margin, you can use the BNPL also. Friends, in case any query, please feel free to write in the Q&A chat box. We'll take your questions later. So once this BNPL, I hope this example would help us to understand and the entire product in a very simple way. Now, how to avail this BNPL stock? Where I can get this BNPL stock? Or since I have never traded, how should I start? Here, my friends, everybody has their IIFL app. They just need to go to the IIFL app, go on the funds page. On the funds page, you will be able to see your funds available. So in this example, what I've shown is funds are 426 rupees available. You have a couple of shares ka holding, which is nothing but 140 rupees. If that 140 rupees holding, if you translate into pledge position, you still be able to get some margin out of it. So, say example, approximately 100 rupees is the margin available. So in that scenario, funds available, cash funds available in your ledger plus collateral margin, put together, you have 568 rupees as a margin available. So here it is clearly shown that you have 568 rupees as a margin, which is available to purchase any trades, which includes your cash funds available in your ledger plus your collateral margin. So I'm going to the screenshots where we are showing you how to place a trade through a BNPL order. So here we have selected a stock, say for an example, Bank of Baroda. Assuming Bank of Baroda price is 103 rupees at this point of time. And we in the product section, we have three products. One is BNPL, one is delivery, and one is intraday. If you choose intraday, you generally prefer to square it on the same day. Apart from intraday, there are two other options. One is delivery and one is BNPL. So in terms of if you choose delivery, you will have to place 100% margin. You will have to pay 100% margin. But if you choose BNPL, then you will need to pay only fraction as we discussed earlier. So currently we have chosen the BNPL. Once you have chosen the BNPL, it is great that now the margin requirement is not 103 rupees as the price suggested. It is only 29.83. That is approximately 30 rupees margin is required to place one single order of Bank of Baroda. Assuming we have chosen to buy, we confirm the trade and trade is placed successfully. So here with only rupees 30, we have been able to purchase 103 worth of stock. Coming to the order summary, how the order summary page looks like. Order summary page looks like that whenever you're trading in a BNPL trade, there you will be able to see delivery dash BNPL tag. Instead of delivery tag, it will be delivery slash BNPL tag, because here we have used BNPL as a product. We have not paid in full, but still we have purchased the stock. One good advantage we are once again is, in case there is any corporate announcement which is available to this particular stock, you can get all the advantages. Like if there is any dividends, you are eligible for dividends as well. Now coming back to the screenshot of order summary, it is clearly visualized that you have able to purchase 103 worth rupees stock at nominal 29.83 margin. Moving to another slide. Now this is the page where we are back on the funds page to understand what is happening in our ledger piece in a very nutshell. So we have used 29.83 as a margin instead of 103 rupees. Here it is, if you see the fund amount, it is 426 rupees, eligible holding 140 rupees, and used margin is 29.83, which earlier was 0. I'm showing you the first page. Here you can see earlier it was 0, now it is 29.83. So what we can conclude here, that we have used this much margin out of the available margin. You can see available margin has also reduced from 569 rupees to 538 rupees, which is nothing but the 30 rupees difference. But your cash fund amount, which is 426 in this page, earlier is also it was 426. You can see cash funds remain the same. So what does this implicate? This implicates that the stocks what one customer has pledged, the stock margin has been used instead of cash margin. So whenever you do this kind of a BNPL, if you have already pledged your stocks earlier, that stock, the pledge margin would be taken so that your entire cash is free for further use. at the end of the day, once interest calculation is considered, although you will be charged interest for 103 rupees, but if you have any positive cash balance in your ledger, that positive cash balance would be considered before charging interest. So I'll give you a very simple example here. Say example, in your BNPL ledger, that is buy now pay later ledger, if you have used funds worth rupees 12,000 rupees as a debit, so technically you should be charged interest for that 12,000 rupees. But here we don't do that way. Instead of 12,000 rupees, if you have used in your BNPL ledger, if your normal ledger where your cash funds are available, if that cash fund available ledger has 10,000 rupees as a cash balance, then your interest would be charged only on the balancing 2,000. यानी that means आपका जो लेजर है BNPL लेजर 12,000 रुपया माइनस हम कर देंगे कैश बैलेंस का लेजर 10,000 रुपया, और पोस्टिंग करेंगे सिर्फ 2,000 रुपया जिसके ऊपर आपको इंटरेस्ट चार्ज होगा. It would not be charged for entire 12,000 rupees. So you did not worry about that part. Whatever cash balance available in your ledger will be deducted while calculating your interest component. So here you are not paying anything extra. अभी we have already purchased the stock. Now what to do? अभी हमने stock तो purchase कर लिया है. We have purchased say example Bank of Baroda one stock, जिसका मुझे 30 रुपीज में मैंने स्टॉक तो खरीद लिया है. Now I need to pledge that stock in favor of IIFL because they will have to take their in that books since they are paying the balance amount. Now how to pledge this stock? It is very easy. On the fund page itself, there is a buy now pay later ka pledge portion. You can see that it is just below the used margin. There is an icon called as buy now pay later. That is nothing but icon for pledging the stock. आपको उसके ऊपर क्लिक करना है. The same day जिस दिन आपने खरीदा है plus T plus 2 days, assuming you have purchased on Monday, so after Monday after 5:30 6 o'clock ये activate हो जाएगा, from which you can pledge those shares and it will be get activated for T plus 2 days. यानी आपको मंडे को अगर आपने खरीदा है, मंडे प्लस 2 days यानी आपको वेडनेसडे सवेरे 12 बजे से पहले तक आपको ये प्लेज कर लेना है. आई एम रिपीटिंग, by if you have traded on Monday on BNPL, आपको वेडनेसडे आफ्टरनून 12 o'clock से पहले आपको ये प्लेज कंप्लीट करना पड़ेगा प्रोसेस. अगर आप नहीं करते हो तो T+6 डे के बाद ये शेयर आपका बिक जाएगा. तो मैंडेटरी प्लेजिंग इज रिक्वायर्ड टू कंटिन्यू विद द BNPL ऑप्शन. लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड हाउ टू प्लेज. तो जैसे वो मैंने बटन BNPL का बटन क्लिक कर दिया, प्लेज का बटन क्लिक कर दिया, ऑटोमेटिकली मुझे ये मेरा BO ID आ जाएगा, दैट इज अपना डीमैट अकाउंट का डिटेल्स आ जाएगा. आई हैव टू जस्ट कॉपी दैट ऑप्शन. साइमल्टेनियसली CDSL का लिंक खुल जाएगा. अपने को वहां पे सिर्फ वो BO का ID प्लेस करना है, पेस्ट कर देना है. अगर आप वो पेस्ट नहीं कर पा रहे हो, यू कैन पुट योर पैन कार्ड, ऑल्टरनेटिवली यू कैन पुट योर पैन कार्ड ऑल्सो. देन आफ्टर आपको प्लेज का ट्रांजेक्शन आ जाएगा. आपके पास से आपने काफी सारा चीजें खरीदी है, तो कौन सा चीजें आपको प्लेज करनी है वो ऑप्शन आ जाएगा. आपको यहाँ पे सिर्फ वो प्लेज से एग्जांपल यहाँ पे ऑप्शन नंबर 2 में दिया हुआ है बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा 1 शेयर. आपको सिर्फ वो ऑप्शन नंबर 2 को टिक करना है. आपको OTP आ जाएगा, आपको OTP एंटर करना है और सबमिट करना है. दैट्स इट. इट इज अ मैटर ऑफ ओनली 1 or 1.5 मिनट जॉब. आपका ये स्टॉक प्लेज हो जाएगा इन फेवर ऑफ IIFL. और ये जो प्लेज स्टॉक्स है, ये कितना टाइम तक हम रुक सकते हैं? इट इज इनफाइनाइट डेज. आप 2 महीना रुको, 6 महीना रुको, साल भर रुको, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. डेली बेसिस पे अपना जो इंटरेस्ट कंपोनेंट है वो चार्ज होता जाएगा. एवरी मंथ वो इंटरेस्ट कंपोनेंट आपके लेजर से डेबिट हो जाएगा. मीनवाइल होल्डिंग पीरियड इज इनफाइनाइट, तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. अगर आपको 6 महीना 8 महीना होल्ड करना है, अब बिंदास आप होल्ड कर सकते हो एज पर योर व्यू. So this is now we have in a very simple terms tried to understand buy now pay later, and it is very easy to use, absolutely easy. It is only a fraction of minutes you require to purchase your stocks and less than a minute or 2 you require to pledge your stocks. Pledging is available after 6 PM on the day of purchase. अब आज सवेरे कभी भी आप बाई किया 3:30 बजे से पहले, आपको 6 बजे के बाद वो प्लेज का आइकन खुल जाएगा. 2 दिन तक वो अवेलेबल रहता है आइकन. आपको खाली उसको टिक करना है और उसमें OTP डालना है, टिक करना है कौन सा स्टॉक आपको प्लेज करना है और सबमिट करना है. दैट्स इट. and automatically it will get pledged, and then you can hold your pledge stocks for longer period of time till the time you want to exit. अब ये मैंने प्लेज तो कर लिया है, ले एग्जांपल मैंने 2 महीना हो गया, 1 महीना हो गया, अब या तो अभी मुझे एग्जिट करना है. नाउ हाउ टू एग्जिट? आई हैव टू अल्टरनेटिव्स हियर. आइदर आई सेल द स्टॉक, अगर मैं स्टॉक बेच देता हूं तो ऑटोमेटिकली मेरा प्लेज बंद हो जाएगा, या तो फिर मुझे उसका डिलीवरी लेना पड़ेगा. डिलीवरी लेने के लिए मुझे जो उधार लिया है आईएफएल से वो मुझे चुकाना है. दैट मीन्स the margin what IFL has funded to me, I will have to pay back. If I pay back that margin, my stocks will get transferred into my own demat account. So let us see what are the two alternatives here. So I am continue with the continue to pay. जैसे ये आपको फर्स्ट स्क्रीन पे दिख रहा है, टोटल बोरोड अमाउंट इज 103, right? And in the second screenshot I have mentioned that I am paying that 103 from my ledger. Once I paid from my ledger, automatically payment request is accepted, and then my stock will get transferred from my normal BNPL to my demat account directly. So this is how it will get shifted. So this is till now we have clearly understood what this BNPL is all about. एकदम सिंपल चीजें हैं, हमको सिर्फ आज बाई करना है और हम कभी भी उसका पेमेंट कर सकते हैं ड्यूरिंग द ईयर. द ओनली रिक्वायरमेंट और मैंडेटरी रिक्वायरमेंट इज हमको प्लेज का ऑप्शन को विद इन T+2 डेज हमको वो सबमिट करना पड़ेगा. दिस इज मैंडेटरी, इसके सिवा हम BNPL नहीं आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं. अगर वर्स्ट के सिनेरियो अगर हम भूल जाते हैं BNPL का ये प्लेज का ऑप्शन करना, तो क्या होगा, T+2 दिन के बाद अपना ये स्टॉक ऑटोमेटिकली लेजर से आपका अगर पैसा क्रेडिट अवेलेबल है लेजर में, नॉर्मल लेजर में, तो वहां से डेबिट हो जाएगा लेजर में और स्टॉक आपका डीमैट में चला जाएगा. आई एम रिपीटिंग, अगर अज्यूम करते हैं ये एक स्टॉक जो मैंने खरीदा है 103 रुपए में, अगर 2 दिन तक मैंने प्लेज ऑप्शन नहीं किया है तो क्या होगा, 2 दिन के बाद मेरा लेजर को चेक किया जाएगा. अगर लेजर के अंदर, मेरे नॉर्मल लेजर के अंदर अगर 103 रुपए अवेलेबल है तो वो 103 रुपए वहां से डेबिट हो जाएगा और स्टॉक शिफ्ट हो जाएगा अपना डीमैट अकाउंट में. अगर अज्यूम करते हैं कि लेजर में कैश बैलेंस 103 रुपए अवेलेबल नहीं है, तो वहां से मुझे T+6 दिन का टाइम मिलेगा और आफ्टर T+6 डेज ये ऑटोमेटिकली कट जाएगा. सिंस इट हैज नॉट बीन अप्रूव्ड, सिंस इट हैज नॉट बीन प्लेज्ड, ये T+6 दिन में ये माल फूट जाएगा. और इन बिटवीन इफ यू वांट टू स्क्वायर इट ऑफ, यू आर अलाउड टू स्क्वायर इट ऑफ. तो T+2 डे पे वेट किया जाता है, बैलेंस चेक किया जाएगा. अगर बैलेंस अगर हो जाता है, आपके बैलेंस में है अगर कैश बैलेंस, तो डेबिट हो जाएगा, या तो फिर ये और आपको 6 दिन का मौका मिलेगा जहां पे वो या तो वो फूट जाएगा माल, या तो फिर आप उसका प्रोएक्टिवली यू कैन गो एंड सेल इट आउट डायरेक्टली. तो दिस इज द जर्नी ऑफ अबाउट BNPL. वेरी सिंपल. वी हैव मल्टीपल वीडियोज ऑन दिस BNPL अवेलेबल. हम आपके चैट बॉक्स में सारे वीडियोस का लिंक्स भी डाल देते हैं. आप आई एम रिक्वेस्टिंग ऑल ऑफ यू, वो सारे लिंक्स को आप क्लिक कर लिए और उसको सेव कर दीजिए कुछ टाइम के लिए, सो दैट यू कैन व्यू ऑल द वीडियोस लेटर. ड्यूरिंग द व्यूइंग द वीडियो इट इज वेरी सिंपल, स्टेप बाय स्टेप दिखाया है कैसे परचेज करना है, कैसे प्लेज करना है. आपको कोई दिक्कत नहीं आएगी. यू जस्ट नीड टू मेक श्योर दैट यू do the first transaction successfully. In case you have any problem, you can write to our support ID or help ID. We'll be more than happy to help you there. There are few questions generally in the customer's mind कि क्या होगा, ऐसा होगा. तो हम लोग ने क्या किया है, कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट 7-8 क्वेश्चन, 10 क्वेश्चन हम लोग निकाल के रखे हैं, so that we can just inform you and you can understand it very easily. पहले तो ईच एंड एवरी कस्टमर नीड टू एक्टिवेट दैट BNPL. अब ये एक्टिवेशन का क्या लफड़ा है, इट इज नॉट सो सिंपल. ऐसा नहीं है. जैसे अगर आपने कभी BNPL यूज नहीं किया है, इफ यू आर यूजिंग इट फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम, आपको एक टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन का चेक बॉक्स आएगा ड्यूरिंग दैट BNPL पेज इटसेल्फ. पहला पेज जो है BNPL का, वहीं पे आपको टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस का पेज आ जाएगा. आपको सिर्फ वो टिक करना है और आगे बढ़ना है. वहां पे अगर आपको टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस क्लिक करके पढ़ना है तो आप प्लीज गो अहेड, आप वो पूरा TNC पढ़ भी सकते हो. पढ़ने के बाद आप सिलेक्ट करके सबमिट करके आगे बढ़ सकते हो. दिस टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस आर टू बी डन एक्सेप्टेड ओनली वंस। हर ट्रेड में टीएनसी नहीं आएगा, ओनली वन टाइम इट विल बी शोन। आई जस्ट शो यू ये कहां पे आता है। व्हेन यू आर परचेजिंग बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम बीएनपीएल यूज करोगे, तो ये पहला स्क्रीनशॉट के पहले पेज पे ही आपको आ जाएगा एक्सेप्ट बीएनपीएल टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस, यहीं पे आएगा। सिंस इट स्क्रीन वी हैव यूज्ड द स्क्रीनशॉट मल्टीपल टाइम्स, ऑलरेडी वो एक्सेप्ट हो चुका है, तो आपको यही पेज पे आएगा और वो एक ही बार आएगा, बार बार नहीं आएगा। जैसे आपका फर्स्ट ऑर्डर पे आपने बीएनपीएल का टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन एक्सेप्ट करके सबमिट कर दिया है, बैकएंड से बीएनपीएल का सर्विस एक्टिवेशन वुड बी डन इन नेक्स्ट 24 आवर्स, मैक्सिमम 48 आवर्स। बट आपका जो ये ट्रेड है, ये ट्रेड बीएनपीएल ऑर्डर में एग्जीक्यूट हो जाएगा। सो लीस्ट बी अश्योर्ड अबाउट इवन योर फर्स्ट ट्रेड। आई ऑलरेडी आंसर्ड द क्वेश्चन 2, डू आई नीड टू एक्टिवेट बीएनपीएल एवरी टाइम? नो, एक्टिवेशन बीएनपीएल इज ओनली वन टाइम एक्टिविटी। उसके बाद आपको दूसरी बार करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, ये ऑटोमेटिकली पीछे से कैप्चर कर लेता है कि यू आर ऑलरेडी अ बीएनपीएल कस्टमर। देयर आर नो सेपरेट चार्जेस, देयर आर, आई एम रिपीटिंग, there are no separate charges for using this BNPL product. It is only the interest component which is charged, that is nothing but 0.049% per day, which comes to less than 18% per annum. अभी माय मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन, ये बीएनपीएल जो है वो कौन से स्टॉक्स में अवेलेबल है या कौन से सेगमेंट्स में अवेलेबल है? आई विल मेक इट वेरी सिंपल। एज ऑफ टुडे, ये बीएनपीएल सिर्फ एनएससी कैश सेगमेंट में अवेलेबल है। एज ऑफ टुडे ये बीएससी सिर्फ एनएससी कैश सेगमेंट में अवेलेबल है, और वहां पे भी ऑल द स्टॉक्स विच आर जनरली लिक्विड एंड विच आर अप्रूव्ड बाय आवर रिस्क टीम आर गिवन इन दिस बीएनपीएल स्टॉक। अब अगर आप कोशिश करोगे कोई टी ग्रुप या जेड ग्रुप का स्टॉक को बीएनपीएल में परचेज करने के लिए, तो ये अलाउ नहीं करेगा। मगर आप कोशिश करोगे कोई भी ये निफ्टी टॉप 100, 200, 500 स्टॉक में करने के लिए, तो आपको यहाँ पे अलाउ हो जाएगा। आई एम रिपीटिंग, बीएनपीएल करंटली अवेलेबल इन ओनली एनएससी सेगमेंट फॉर कैश। बाकी कोई सेगमेंट में ये अवेलेबल नहीं हो सकता है एज ऑफ टुडे। और ये ऑल द लिक्विड स्टॉक्स विच आर अवेलेबल प्लस the stocks which are approved by our risk team will get updated in the BNPL list. How much margin is applicable for BNPL orders? This is also one of the important questions to understand. ये हर स्टॉक के लिए कुछ डिफरेंट मार्जिन होता है, एंड लेट मी टेल यू ऑनेस्टली, ये हर एक स्टॉक का मार्जिन इट वुड बी वेरी बिटवीन से 20% टू 25, 30, 35% मैक्सिमम। हर स्टॉक जो रहता है उसका मार्जिन अगेन ये वेरिएबल होता है। जनरली ये एवरीडे चेंज होता है, बट मोर और लेस इट विल बी इन द सेम लाइन। सो अज्यूमिंग अगर रिलायंस का 20% है, तो जनरली 20, 22, 21 के आसपास ही रहना चाहिए। अगर किसी कोई स्क्रिप्ट का 25% है, तो इट विल बी मोर और लेस इन द सेम रेंज ओनली। ये कैसे पता चलेगा? जब हम एक्चुअल में बाई ऑर्डर डालेंगे, उस बाई ऑर्डर में अगर आप देखोगे तो इंस्टेड ऑफ 103 ऑटोमेटिकली 30% के हिसाब से या 25% के हिसाब से 30 रुपीज को सिलेक्ट किया गया था, 29 रुपीज 83 पैसा। आई होप यू रिमेंबर द फर्स्ट स्लाइड। तो वैसे ऑटोमेटिकली मार्जिन कैलकुलेट होके आ जाएगा। मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, हाउ डू आई प्लेज माई बीएनपीएल ट्रेड्स? इट इज वेरी सिंपल। जैसे हमने बताया था आपको, फंड के पेज पे एक आइकन आ जाता है, वो आइकन को क्लिक करते ही आफ्टर 6 PM वो आइकन को आप क्लिक कर सकते हो, और T+2 दिन के अंदर आप उसको प्लेजिंग कर सकते हो। ऑल्टरनेटिवली अगर वो आईएफएल ऐप के थ्रू अगर आप नहीं कर रहे हो, तो क्या होता है, आईएफएल सिक्योरिटीज भी आपको अलग से मेल भी करता है, प्लस आपको जो एनएसडीएल सीडीएसएल का आपका डीपी अकाउंट है, वहां से भी आपको मेल आता है टू प्लेज योर अकाउंट, टू प्लेज योर पर्टिकुलर स्टॉक। This entire process need to be done between T+2 days compulsory. So as I said, you have, आपको रिमाइंडर के लिए आईएफएल से भी मेल आता है, प्लस डीपी से भी मेल आता है, प्लस ये ऑलरेडी आपका अवेलेबल है ऐप के अंदर। आप कहीं से भी कर सकते हो, लिंक से कर सकते हो या ऐप से कर सकते हो। एनीवे प्रोसेस रिमेन्स द सेम। So when you place a BPL order, you get notification from IFL before 3:30, before 5:30 p.m. on the same to authorize the trade with your depository, that is NSDL or CDSL. You can visit the depository link from the notification, enter your BOID, BOID मतलब DPID होता है, and confirm through a OTP. That's it. Your stock will get pledged and you can enjoy the BNPL benefits. But as I have mentioned, I'm repeating once again, it has to be done within T+2 days. What if I don't pledge my BNPL orders? What if I don't pledge my BNPL trades? अगर हम प्लेज नहीं करते हैं, मैंने आपको पहले भी बताया था, आई एम रिपीटिंग दिस वंस अगेन फॉर द बेनिफिट ऑफ ऑल, द एंटायर अमाउंट फॉर द ट्रेड विल हैव टू बी पेड. अगर हमने BNPL T+2 दिन में 12 बजे तक हमने अगर एग्जीक्यूट नहीं किया, तो सिस्टम हमारा वो चेक करेगा कि तुम्हारे लेजर में पैसा है या नहीं. अगर लेजर में पैसा है तो आपका लेजर से पैसा डेबिट कर देंगे और स्टॉक आपका डीपी में ट्रांसफर कर देंगे. अगर वर्स्ट केस सिनेरियो, इफ योर लेजर डज नॉट हैव दैट अमाउंट एट दैट पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, तो आपको 6 दिन मिलेगा. 6 दिन के बाद ये ऑटो स्क्वायर ऑफ हो जाएगा. द अमाउंट टू बी पेड विल आइदर बी डेबिटेड फ्रॉम योर लेजर, or in case of insufficient balance, the stock will be squared off on T+6 day. Stock will be squared off on T+6 day. T+2 days तक आपको कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं लगता है, और 2 दिन के बाद आपको नेक्स्ट 4 दिन का इंटरेस्ट लगेगा ऑन द फंडिंग व्हाट यू हैव यूज्ड ऑफ IFL. वो जो इंटरेस्ट लगेगा वो आपके लेजर से लेटर स्टेज में डेबिट हो जाएगा, बिकॉज यू हैव नॉट यूज्ड, you have not pledged your stocks at between the T+2 time frame, प्लस आपके लेजर में भी बैलेंस नहीं था, जिस वजह से ये स्टॉक नेक्स्ट 6 दिन में स्क्वायर ऑफ हो जाएगा. आई होप दिस इज वेरी सिंपल टू अंडरस्टैंड. What are the charges? As I have told you, what are the charges of BNPL? The charges is only 0.049%. I'm repeating, the charges are only 0.049% per day. Calculation will be done on the daily basis, but debit will be done only at the end of the month. I am repeating once again, calculation will be done on the daily basis, but debit will be done at the end of the month. प्लस यहाँ पे डेबिट होने से पहले कैलकुलेशन जब डेली बेसिस पे लेते हैं, मैंने आपको जो 12,000 का एग्जांपल दिया था स्टार्टिंग में, इट रिमेन्स द सेम. जैसे अगर मेरा BNPL लेजर में एग्जांपल 12,000 का डेबिट है और मेरे कैश लेजर में अज्यूमिंग 10,000 का क्रेडिट है, तो हम आपको 12,000 के डेबिट के ऊपर इंटरेस्ट नहीं लगाते हैं. हम 12,000 का डेबिट माइनस आपका 10,000 लेजर बैलेंस, जो बैलेंसिंग 2,000 रुपीज होगा, उसी के ऊपर आपको इंटरेस्ट लगेगा उस दिन के लिए. आई होप आई हैव मेड इट वेरी क्लियर. Now the 3 more questions. How do I pay up my funding for BNPL services? यानी मैंने जो BNPL प्रोडक्ट यूज किया है, मुझे उसका पेमेंट कैसे करना है, या मुझे वो कैसे मैं बंद कर सकता हूँ BNPL सर्विसेज, इन द सेंस मुझे वो प्रोडक्ट या तो बेचना पड़ेगा या तो फिर मुझे उसका डिलीवरी लेना पड़ेगा. सो इन ऑर्डर टू क्लोज द फंडिंग विच इज बीन गोइंग ऑन, अभी ये समझो मैंने आज ट्रेड कर लिया है, 3 महीने के बाद 103 रुपए वाला 140 130 रुपया हो गया या 120 रुपया हो गया, और मुझे लगता है कि ये राइट प्राइस है टू एग्जिट, अभी मुझे यहाँ से BNPL का चार्जेस पे नहीं करना है, लेट मी स्टॉप दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. तो व्हाट शुड आई डू? आइदर आई, ऑप्शन नंबर 1, आई सेल द स्टॉक. जैसे मैं स्टॉक बेच देता हूँ, मेरा BNPL ऑटोमेटिकली बंद हो जाएगा. ऑल्टरनेटिवली यू कैन पे फ्रॉम योर ट्रेडिंग लेजर. मैं ट्रेडिंग लेजर से मैं पेमेंट शिफ्ट कर सकता हूँ और वो स्टॉक का डिलीवरी लेके मैं मेरे डीमैट में ट्रांसफर कर सकता हूँ. ये दोनों पेमेंट के लिए जो पे फ्रॉम द लेजर ऑप्शन दोनों अवेलेबल है IFL वेब में, IFL ऐप में, एज वेल एज TT वेब में, तो जहाँ से हम जनरली ट्रेडिंग प्रीफर करते हैं. ये दोनों जगह पे ये पीस अवेलेबल है. Now comes the next question. What is the maximum duration of buy now pay later stocks? As I have already said earlier, it is for infinite period. ये buy now pay later हम 1 महीना, 15 दिन, 20 दिन, 6 महीना, 1 साल ऐसा हम नहीं देते. You can continue as long as you are willing to hold this stock for a very long time. Till the time you are holding the stock, आप ये कंटिन्यू कर सकते हो. अगर आपको समझो 1 साल के ऊपर भी ये लेके जाना है तो आप लेके जा सकते हो, इसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. Nobody is going to stop you. And we have a last question here. How can we pledge stocks through buy now pay later for margin? बहुत सारे लोगों का क्वेश्चन आता है, मैंने बीएनपीएल में स्टॉक्स तो खरीद लिया है। से एग्जांपल, मैंने ये बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा का एग्जांपल लेता हूँ, मैंने बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा एक शेयर खरीदा है 103 रुपए में, जिसको मैंने प्लेज कर दिया है। अब मुझे ये स्टॉक के ऊपर और एक बार प्लेज करके क्या मैं इसका मार्जिन यूज कर सकता हूँ? नो, ये पॉसिबल नहीं है। ये ऑलरेडी आपका स्टॉक जो प्लेज में है, हम वही स्टॉक को दोबारा प्लेज में नहीं डाल सकते। तो ये स्टॉक के ऊपर जो आपने ऑलरेडी प्लेज में लिया हुआ है, आपको डबल प्लेजिंग अलाउड नहीं होता है। इवन दो यू हैव इन्वेस्टेड 30 rupees टू बाई दिस 103 rupees वर्थ ऑफ स्टॉक, you cannot further pledge it because it is already pledged. I hope I have made this very clear. So this ends up our entire BNPL session. To now we will take questions one by one so that everybody are aware, and those who have any questions also we can just take those questions for the benefit of all.
Hey, Viral. So you can check the question answer section also.
I'm stopping the share page.
Sure.
Okay, can we, do you want us to take the questions one by one? Somebody wants to dictate the questions so that
No,
we can.
you can just go through it and accordingly you can answer it from there itself.
Okay, one second.
For those which you have already answered, you can just remove that. And for the ones you have not answered till now, you can take that one by one.
Sure. Just a moment. We have a first question. I have a query about BNPL. I have 300 shares of Zomato, but the initiating of debit message comes to after the day of purchase, and accordingly the BNPL have to pay the money in 2 months. Aditya, I'm not able to understand your questions per se. So what is your question? So technically it is for longer period of time. It is not mandatory that you need to close your position in 2 months or so. Just you need to pledge your position in T+2 days. So we have a question from Mr. Jeet Verma. What if, please show the scenario of both profit as well as losses. Assuming each and every person trades for the benefit of profit. Generally, if you are taking a long position, nobody wishes to make any kind of a losses. But in case worst case scenario, if you still incur, if your view goes wrong and your position is getting converted into losses, you have any time you have a right to exit your position and come out of the BNPL trade itself. We have one more question. There is a question from Mr. Rao. I have 1,000 shares already, and if I buy 1,000 shares more in BNPL, how do I sell the 1,000 shares purchased in BNPL? You can exit the BNPL trade directly. You can exit the BNPL trade because that is the pledge shares. Technically, it will be you're selling your BNPL shares, and it as per the logic of your PNL, it is first in first out. So you need to understand that part. But technically, you can sell those shares which are you have purchased in BNPL and come out of the BNPL trade. We have a question from Mr. Vishwanathan. Can we avail BLPL funding from IFL beyond 1 month? Yes, you can avail beyond 1 month, as I already discussed. It is for infinite period. There is a question. I have made a purchase in BNPL, but still get a message that your account is in debit. Definitely, your account will be in debit itself, and funds will fund the same. Otherwise, your stock would be sold. Rajnish, if you, I request you to get in touch with your relationship manager, or you can write to us on our helpline email ID. We'll be taking your question there. Why a message has been gone to you, and we'll explain you the same. There is a question from Mr. Bhagyashri. Is this available for options? No, as I have mentioned, it is only for NSE cash, NSE cash stocks. So there is a question from Mr. Rahul. Since 4 lakh is funded by IFL, if you return the money, if I return some time, what would be the calculation sheet? I'm not able to understand your question, but I'm trying to assume that if you want to close your position in advance, you have right to close your position in advance whenever you please, and you can square off your position at one go. There is a question from Mr. Rao. What is the margin benefit that I can get? Would I get the benefit of BNPL stocks also? As I said, your BNPL is already a pledged stock. You cannot further pledge it. We have a question pertaining to income tax. Technically, income tax is on your profits. So here, what if in the example, if you have made 38,000 rupees profit, so income tax would be applicable on the 38,000 rupees. Irrespective of the principal amount what you use, whatever is your profits, tax is always on the profits. What is the interest levied? It is 0.049% per day. Someone has asked what is the interest. It is 0.049% per day, which comes to slightly lesser than your 18% per annum. We have a question in new transaction will get average or accumulate with the old position scenario when price will do once we have done pledging stocks, precise stocks. Uh, Rachit, if I'm not wrong, technically there would be different pledging and be different line items to that extent.
Yes, yes,
Different line items, right? It will not get merged.
yes. Can you repeat the question again, just to?
Rachit, what customer is trying to ask is, if I'm able to understand his question, he's saying that if I buy one particular stock in BNPL, and a
Uh-huh.
few days later I'm buying the same stock again on BNPL, that both
Mhm.
the stocks will get merged and average position will come out, or it will be a separate line item.
It will be merged. It will be merged.
It will be merged. Okay.
Yes.
There is a question from Mr. Vishwanathan. If PO is submitted, can we avoid pledging each time I purchase stocks through BNPL? I'm sorry, sir. Even if PO is submitted, pledging is a different process altogether, which is laid down by SEBI last year. And every time we pledge, we will have to, every time we will use BNPL, pledging process has to be done. There's a question from Mr. Aditya. After buying in BNPL, position debit में जाता है तो technically you will have to manage your position accordingly. If it goes below the maintenance margin, it will get squared off, or you can add more funds there. Rachit, I hope I'm right here.
Sorry, which question are you referring to?
There's a question from Mr. Aditya. After buying BNPL, if position goes into debit,
Huh.
so technically out of 103 rupees worth of stock, I have already paid 30 rupees.
Yes,
And
yes. So that much amount will be automatically moved from cash to BNPL.
right. So automatically the, say example, your stock is 5%, 10% down. So technically from your ledger, 10% will get moved to BNPL position. I hope
So
I'm right here.
always, yes. So always for the funded amount, the required collateral amount will be maintained either through cash collateral or through stock collateral. So if the value of the stock collateral goes down, then cash will be transferred from trading ledger.
Okay. So I hope it is clear for all our participants. The minimum percentage what is required for any purchase in BNPL will have to be maintained on daily basis. Wherever there is a shortfall, it will be adjusted from your cash collateral or your stock collateral. Uh, Pledge acceptance and pledge release charges. I hope you are charging 20 rupees per ISN, Rachit.
Yes, yes. We are looking to reduce that in line with whatever the depositories are asking. So we are in talks with them to reduce that further. But currently it is that much.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pankaj, you have just explained your question that if the margin is reduced, if your stocks fall down, you will get refurbished your amount that refurbished through your margin collateral or your cash collateral. There is a question from Mr. Jeet. Is it necessary to pledge your current portfolio stocks or only the BNPL stocks should and must be pledged? Sir, your current portfolio, we don't require you to pledge your current portfolio unless and until you want the margin for the same. So in case it is always advised that if you are able to pledge your current portfolio, you get a better margin. And during the market falls, and if you have a ready margin available, you can take the fresh purchases. But it is not mandatory to pledge your current portfolio. If you are able to procure your cash margin for the sake of BNPL, it is still okay. There's a question from Mr. Shini Rao through IFL app not getting the NS CDSL site. Sir, why don't you have a write us a mail on the same? We will be checking and getting back to you on the same question. Akshay, can you just mention our email ID on the chat box so that in case people wants to write any kind of a queries, they are feel free to write there.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Thank you. BNPL bought stocks can participate in buyback offer. Technically, if there is any buyback offer, you can purchase through BNPL, but at the time of surrendering of shares, you will have to pay in full. Only then it falls under your demat. Till that, it does not fall under your demat. I'll just give you an example. Say example, currently there is a buyback going on for TCS. If the TCS stock price currently is say 3,700 and buyback is 4,500, you have a spread of 800 rupees almost. Assuming TCS may take the 100% buyback, or there are heavy chances that it may go 70-80% of the buyback. In that scenario, you can take the stocks in BNPL today, enjoy the journey for next a month, 1.5 till the time uh, they for a month, 1.5, and then later stage convert it into your deposit position or your delivery position, and then you can move it to buyback scenario. So you can use it in bits and pieces, but you cannot buy it in BNPL and surrender it for buyback option directly because it does not fall under your DP, so it will not be accepted. Few questions are repeating. I'm just not taking those questions once again. Mr. Mahendra's question is 0.049% is same for all script or varies? It is same for all script. Currently, it is fixed for all. Going ahead, it may vary also from profile to profile per se, but currently it is fixed for all. You can get in touch with your relationship manager for better understanding. So we are getting a huge amount of repeated questions. So I'll just repeat once again about the interest, because there are many questions pertaining to interest part. On daily basis, interest will be calculated. Whatever is your BNPL debits, whatever is your BNPL debits will be considered along, will be adjusted along your normal ledger credits. Whatever is the balance amount, that will be used for your interest calculation on the daily basis. Daily basis interest debits are not happening, or we are not initiating daily basis of interest debits. We will be initiating interest debits only once a month at the month end. I hope I've cleared the question, because many people have asked the same questions. Okay, so I have almost answered all the questions, but many questions are repetitive in nature, so I have dropped those questions. Okay, I have almost covered all the questions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Viral, for this wonderful session. I'm pretty much sure that most of the answers are answered. There were a lot of questions that were repeating. I also saw that. So that's absolutely fine. We have answered almost everything. Any questions that are left unanswered, you can also visit our help page. You can also raise a ticket if you have any specific question. You can write us a mail from there also. I've also mentioned our email IDs in the chat. You can simply just drop us a mail out there, and we'll be more than happy to help you out. Also, we have provided you with a couple of links of YouTube videos wherein we have also explained the product again. So you can watch that also. I am dropping the links again in the chat. Great then. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Mr. Viral, Mr. Rachit, Mr. Ashnil, for being on the webinar with us and helping us out with client queries. And yes, we will be conducting a series of webinar in future as well. We'll be sending out communications to all our users. For those people who don't have our app downloaded yet, please do download our app. You'll be getting all the communications on the app also via push notifications. So kindly download the app if you don't have it. And you can follow us on our social media handles as well, wherein we constantly keep on updating on which webinar we are conducting or what we are going to explain. So thank you once again, everyone. With this, we'll sign off for the day. Thank you so much. Hope you all had a great session.
Thank you all.